Assalamualaikum everyone. Let me set context for this video. In this video, I am going to discuss what is IP address, what is IP version 4 IP address, what is IP version 6 IP address, what are the basic difference between them, when we should use which one, and we will also discuss what is static IP address, what are dynamic IP address, what are public, what are private. Okay. And we will also discuss when we should use which combination of IP address in which scenario. So without further delay, let's get started. For explaining IP address, let's assume an example. Let's suppose I have to send parcel to my friend. For sending the parcel securely, I have to attach address of my friend. And I also have to attach my information also. If I attach the information, I attach the address, I can send the parcel securely. If I compare this scenario with IP address, I can say that if I want to send any data or if I want to get any types of data which I want, I always need an address. Without this address, I cannot get or send data, and this address have to be unique, and the address which I am using is called IP address. I hope we understand IP address clearly. Now, what are the types of IP address? There are two types of IP address. One is IP version 4 and another one is IP version 6. Now let's explain IP version 4. IP version 4 is widely used IP address. It is widely used, and we represent these types of IP address in this manner. So when 4 numbers separated by dot, these types of representation is usually on IP version 4 types of address. Okay, and each of this number can be between 0 to 255. By using IP version 4, we can generate 4.3 billion unique types of IP address. So this number is huge, but there is a problem. This 4.3 billion number is huge, but it is not sufficient because of the increasing number of user, we need more IP address. So for fulfilling the demand of user, we need another types of representation of IP address. So for this reason, there is a representation of IP address which is IP version 6. In IP version 6, the address representation is this type, where 8 group of 4 hexadecimal character are separated. We can say 2001. There are 4 hexadecimal character and 8 group. 1 group, 2 group, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 group of 4 hexadecimal character are separated using colon. Okay, in here 4 number is separated using 1 dot, but in here they are separated using colon. And by these types of representation, we can generate 2 to the power 128 unique IP address. Okay, and this is a huge number, and we can say that we only need not more than this amount of IP address. I hope so. And these types of IP address usually gives us a better performance, and these types of IP address has built-in security features. What types of IP address we should use? Most modern device, router or OS use both types of IP address. We can use both types of IP address in most modern device, but if we can use IP version 6 or IP version 4, we should use IP version 6 because it has better performance and built-in security feature. Okay, so we should use IP version 6 if supported, but use IP version 4 for compatibility because IP version 4 is always supported. But if IP version 6 is supported, we should use IP version 6. Okay, now we understand what are the types of IP address. Now this IP address can be public or private. Okay, what is public? When this IP address is exposed to internet. Private address is this types of IP address is not exposed to internet. Okay, if we want to send any data to internet, our IP address have to be public, and this public and private IP address can be two type. This can be static or dynamic. Dynamic IP address changes time to time. Why we need dynamic IP address? Let's assume an example. Let's suppose I am using an IP address, and by using this IP address I am requesting to internet for getting some types of data. If after some time I'm not using this IP address, this IP address will be useless. IP address is dynamic. If I am not using it, I can give it to any other person, so that this IP address can be useful for the other person. And these types of IP address is always cheaper. IP address is changed. This is harder to track. So there are lots of scenario where we should use dynamic IP address. Now we will explain some scenario where we use static, dynamic, or we can say public private combination of IP address. Let's suppose I am using a mobile. Okay, I am using a mobile and I want to get some data from internet. Okay, I want to get some data. So for getting data, the process is not so easy. Okay, if I explain it simply, that we need a router. By using this router, we are connected to internet. Our internet service provider gives us opportunity to connect it with internet. This scenario is not so simple. We can explain it in more detail. We know we have Wi-Fi router, we have router, and any broadband provider gives us opportunity to connect it with internet. That's mean in our Wi-Fi router that sets a public IP. What I said previously, if we want to send or receive any data, we need a public IP. Okay, so broadband provider usually assign a public IP to our Wi-Fi router, and by using this Wi-Fi router, now we can send or receive any types of data. Public IP, we can see it is public, but it is also dynamic. It is changes time to time. Internet service provider changes it time to time. Okay, and we can also request for a static public IP, but this cost more money. Okay, if we need, then we can request for a static types of IP address. In our Wi-Fi router, there are lots of devices connected. We can say mobile device is connected, laptop is connected, but from mobile device I am requesting for data from mobile device. So in our mobile device, we also need a IP address. This IP address is not exposed to internet. I don't need it, because our Wi-Fi router is the medium which helps us to communicate with internet. So we don't need our mobile device IP address to be exposed. Okay, so our Wi-Fi router assign an IP address to our mobile, and this IP address, by using this IP address, we can receive the specific data, and our Wi-Fi router understand which device is requesting for data, and then it assign the specific data to the specific device. So I can say Wi-Fi router assign temporary IP to each device, mobile, laptop, and these types of IP address is dynamic and private. I am explaining in which scenario I should use public plus static types of IP address. Okay, usually we used public static types of IP address in website, server, or any types of business. Let's suppose I want to get some data from Google. Google IP address is 8.8.8.8. If this IP address changes time to time, or we can say if this IP address is dynamic, we cannot request it because this IP address will be changed time to time. But if this IP address is fixed, we can call Google anytime because this IP address is fixed. Okay, when we host our website in any server, we always need an public plus aesthetic types of IP address. Okay, and we usually set up custom domain pointing to our IP, and I won't explain what is custom domain or what is DNS because it is a separate topic. Okay, so I hope that we understand what is IP address and all of this thing. So thank you so much.